Hey all, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to speak about my journey on how I started selling Pokemon cards, but not only focused on me, but also on you if you want to do this as well. And I'm Toby, I'm selling Pokemon cards in Switzerland for now over 8 months. And how I approached my journey was over 1.5 years ago. I was at a card show at Frankfurt in Germany. And yeah, I have like a large collection of Pokemon cards, and I also have then like a trade binder with cards that I do not want to keep because I have like pulled them twice, or I just have like duplicates of them for other reasons, or I do not want to keep the card at all anymore. And yeah, so I just have a binder where I have all my cards which I wanted to trade, and I took them with me at the card show. And yeah, I just traded many cards and I really enjoyed this at this day. And I also thought about, okay, maybe I can then just also list something online and sell it. I also have like an eBay store back at, maybe 4 years ago. I got one eBay shop, but then I closed them like, I think after 8 months or something like this. And I just wanted to start something similar again. And so I then go through my collection and I get all of my cards out which I could find or which I wanted to get rid of, and I just listed them on a platform which is similar to eBay. It's called Ricardo in Switzerland. And yeah, I listed then my cards there and sold the most of them. And this was just how I started with it. But then I thought, okay, now how can I continue with it? And then, because I did not have so much money, I couldn't buy these large collections online. I was able to buy some smaller ones, but not really large ones, and so it was hard to get always like single cards, then list them, then get again cards. And so I thought about, okay, maybe I can just try to get my hands on cheaper cards, which are obviously bulk cards. And so I bought many of bulk cards on eBay, and yeah, then I just had over 50,000 cards in my inventory, or not in my inventory, this was a problem, just lying around here in my room. And then, because the amount was so massive, I wasn't able to find the motivation to list them at all. And so they was then stuck for over 6 months, where I just sold some of my single cards, but I do not really continued it directly. And so I have like a break already before I even started, really. And then in my last holidays, I just thought, okay, come, now let's list them and figure out a way how to do this. And so this was the way how I started. And now I document my journey here on YouTube for 8 months. And you can see all my progress, which I made, and also all my numbers in my videos. And if you want to see also my progress on this, feel free to subscribe to my channel as well. But now to you, how can you start selling Pokemon cards if you want to? And I would suggest doing it like me. So just go through all your cards, which you have in your room, which have you in your binder, cards you do not want to keep in your collection, duplicates, booster pack pulls which you do not want to keep. And yeah, also maybe you have a trade binder, same as me. And so just grab all of these cards and try to list them on the platform you choose. There are many platforms. You can use like eBay. You can also use like TCG Player in the US, Card Market in Europe. So I'm in Europe, so I would go with a Card Market. And also you can use like other platforms. There are Facebook Marketplace and such stuff. I didn't try this, so I cannot recommend doing this. I would recommend for the beginning just doing like eBay. It's totally okay for the beginning. And also I know larger stores, they still sell only on eBay, and it's also worth doing this. I focused right now a bit more about a Shopify store which I built up, but you do not need to do this in the beginning, and I would not recommend doing this in the beginning because it's really hard to get customers on it. So your main concern in the beginning is getting customers. And so if you just use the large platforms like TCG Player or eBay, you do have many customers there already, which are actively searching for the cards. So it's really easy to start on these platforms. So I would recommend doing this as well, starting there, and then you can shift afterwards if you want to, but just starting out there. And then, yeah, start with single cards, list them as really single cards, not as collections, because you, if you want to do this on a larger scale later, you are then the one who buy the collections and sell them as single cards. So this is how most people approach it. They buy collections and list them as single cards. and maybe send them also to PSA. This you can also do if you shift through your cards, then sort the very good looking ones out and maybe send them to PSA or another grading service. But if you then run out of cards because you listed all of your cards, then you can wait until you sell your cards and then buy collections, smaller collections in the first place if you have not so many capital. But you can also try to use bulk cards as me, but I would recommend not trying to list every bulk cards, which was my idea, and this was not the best idea because this takes forever and is not really worth doing it if you have not the proper processes in place. I do now have them, but it just took time. And so I would recommend if you buying bulk cards, which are cheap, so you can afford many of them. So maybe like 1 cent per card if you're really lucky, or 2 or 3 cents, depending also on like condition and yeah, how old the cards are. If it's more like older ones from 2015 or 2018 or something like this. If you have more newer cards, they are usually cheaper, but also not worth so much per card. And what you need to do is then make a list on the cards which are worth more than maybe 20 cents, I would recommend. And you print this out and try to remember the cards in your head. And then if you go through the cards, every time if you face some of the cards, put them aside. This will mainly be trainer cards for the newer sets. For the older ones, this is a bit harder to guess. Most of the time, always if you have like a fan favorite, just keep them aside and then check it. But for the older sets, I think last week I got a trainer card, I think VS Seeker or something like this, and it was worth $8, and I never had thought about this. It's worth so much. Yeah, so sometimes you do not know if a card is like worth 20 cents or $8, but this is also like it's not the usual case that you have these cards only for the older sets as well. So for the modern sets, you can stick just to trainer cards and a few cards you check priorly, and then build a list and just shift the cards out which have a high value from your cards, and the rest of the bulk cards you just directly sell again. And so you have then the valuable cards which you can list. And yeah, and so you get used to the process on buying cards, listing the cards. Also for the more valuable cards, you make like photos and get used to this as well. And then this was also then how you started. This was exactly how I started, and then you can sort about how I can now get larger collections, how I can list faster, how I can optimize my process. And yeah, so it's all these topics, and also how can I list simultaneously and on multiple platforms, which I did in the last few months. So I list now on Card Market, on Card Trader, and also on my Shopify store. And so I shifted there a bit, and I also try now to sell more over Shopify. Because I think long term this is the best thing, but it's hard to get your customers there. This is the problem, and so do not start with this. Yeah, I think this is what I can tell you for the beginning, and yeah, just start and try it out. I figured out also a lot of things along the way. For example, I tried to build up like small master sets with only the bulk cards, so the common, uncommon and rare cards, and this didn't went well, so I stopped this now. And there are many things you will learn along the way, and this is my advice. So just grab this what you have in your hands. You do not need so much. I also started very small. I think I got like worth around maybe $2,000 at the beginning. Yeah, maybe in total I got like 3 or 4K. But you can just start also with like less. So it would be good if you have some cards at home, but I think most of you who will start this have this. And so yeah, just try it out, and then if you are interested how my journey will continue, just check out my other videos or just follow along my channel, and then hopefully see you in the next video.